Did I? How many times did I get it wrong?
Action.
Hey everyone, it's Carl at Winetopia here again. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your lockdown. Once again, we're going to be bringing a wee bit of Winetopia to you directly. So we're heading down now to Horowhenua to catch up with Jo from Ohau Wines. Jo, how are you going?
Hi, I'm really good, Carl. It's nice to see your face.
You look like you're out in the vineyard.
I am out in the vineyard. We are just in the middle of harvest right now. So we were incredibly grateful when we found out that we were allowed to continue with harvest. We hadn't quite started when the lockdown happened. So our team are working incredibly hard to get the harvest in before the weather turns for us.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, for those of our watchers out there who might not be familiar with Ōhau, tell us a wee bit about the vineyard.
So we're a 40-hectare vineyard just south of Levin. We are the only vineyard in this region and pretty much the only commercial vineyard on the west coast of the North Island until you get a bit further north, which means that we are working in quite unique conditions and doing things a little bit differently, I think, mainly because no one's ever done this before where we are. So everything was a learning curve. We had to figure things out as we went along, figure out the site and the conditions.
What sorts of things are you doing differently than someone down in Marlborough might be doing, for example?
We've got luscious green grass at the moment, which is quite different to every other vineyard in New Zealand who are struggling with almost drought conditions in some areas. We very rarely need to irrigate during a normal season because we get regular rainfall. We're one of the first to see bud burst in our vines, and that happens September, quite early, and then we're one of the last to harvest. So we've got quite a long ripening season, which means our fruit ends up being really full of flavour because there's lots of time for those fruit flavours to develop during the season.
And what sort of wines is Ōhau really known for, and what's your sort of standouts that you guys produce?
We grow and make a really good Sauvignon Blanc because when you're a New Zealand vineyard you pretty much have to grow Sauvignon Blanc, but Pinot Gris is the one that has always won awards for us. In our first vintage in 2009 we won Pinot Gris of the show at the Brigato Awards, and that was our very first vintage, so that really showed us that Pinot Gris was the way forward here. Since that was when we were just 10 hectares, so we've grown in size significantly since then. But of course, it's you can't plant all Pinot Gris.
No.
It just
Diversify.
Really hard. Diversify, yeah. And doing that, we've just planted some Chardonnay, so we grow Pinot Gris, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir, a tiny amount of Gewürztraminer, which we don't usually bottle. It was a bit of a trial.
Well, Jo, seeing as you're actually in the vineyards there, could you do us all a quick favour and grab your camera and just give us a bit of a 360 of where you're at?
So I'm currently in C block, which is Sauvignon Blanc. You'll see we've got nets up above us. That's to keep the birds away. Being the only vineyard in the area, the birds love us and we provide them with quite a lot of food. So we need to put nets on to get rid of them, keep them out as much as we can. This area, as you can see, is yet to be harvested. And so what we do, our team comes in, pulls all the nets off, and then the harvester comes through.
So it's machine harvested rather than manually, as it were?
Yeah, we do machine harvesting. We've done a lot of research into the quality of fruit you get from machine harvest versus hand harvesting. While there are definite benefits to hand harvesting, we think machine harvest does a pretty good job for the market sector that we're aiming at. So
yourself and the team really are trailblazers down in Horowhenua, which for those of you who don't know who that is, that's near Levin. I had to look that up myself, to be honest.
We are often thought to be in the South Island by Lake Ōhau, which we're not. Trailblazers is a big word. There was a group of risk takers for sure. So this land that I'm currently on was farmland, and they were subdividing into houses. They had someone come in and test the soil because they wanted to put in big houses with nice green crop between the houses, something nice and rural. And a viticulturalist came in and tested the soils and went, could you just put grapes in, please? Don't put in all those big houses. It's ridiculous. So planted 10 hectares of grapes and won Pinot Gris of the show, so at the Brigato Awards. So it kind of showed that it was a risk that was worth taking.
Okay, so the rest is history, really, isn't it?
As they say, but very recent history. We talk about ourselves as being the newest of the New World. New Zealand is New World wines, and We've only been here for 14 years now, which is not long in the lifetime of a grapevine.
Right, well, Jo, thank you very much for your time. It definitely looks like you're somewhere that I would rather be than sat in my house, but we'll get there on the next post-COVID road trip. And if any of you watching are keen on learning a wee bit more about Ōhau and the lovely Pinot Gris that they produce, we'll pop a wee link again down in the description for you. And yeah, we'll see you all next time. Cheers.